Kim Jong Un is a ruthless dictator and a skilled strategist. When he replaced his father, experts predicted he would be toppled within a year. But the young heir showed he was ready to do anything to establish his authority. He's allegedly ordered the killings of his own uncle and half-brother, nurtured one of the world's most repressive states, and threatened to nuke Washington, D.C. Yet, like a statesman, he now has the ear of China, South Korea, and even the U.S. Just how did he make it to this point against all expectations?
So Kim Jong Un comes on the scene December 2011. It's the wake of his father, and there's a filmed image of him or photographs of him crying, sobbing, red-faced. So conventional wisdom when he came in was that in order to keep the regime going, you need a brutal dictatorial leader with ice in his veins. And the initial analysis was that this was not the guy, but it turned out that he was. He showed an unexpected, chilling aptitude for murder, perhaps more so even than his brutal father. Kim Jong Un has shown a willingness to kill members of his own family.
In these images that have gone viral, Kim Jong Un's half-brother is the victim of a lethal VX nerve agent attack in the middle of a Malaysian airport. Kim Jong Un likely masterminded the murder of his half-brother, who had criticized him from afar. In 2013, Kim had already ordered the execution of his uncle, Jong Sung-taek, for anti-state activities and for enriching himself, North Korean state media said at the time.
Beyond these high-profile incidents, much more has been going on beneath the surface of the past 5 years. Hundreds of cadres have been persecuted without due process.
A former North Korean diplomat posted in London, YONG-HO, defected in 2016. When he testified in Congress, he talked extensively about Kim Jong Un's purges and other human rights abuses.
Until now, the North Korean system has prevailed through an effective and credible reign of terror.
Kim Jong Un, he's a young man who is hoping to stay in power for decades, took over a country and it was a backwards country, impoverished. 1 million or so people died in 1990s famine. He's got to do something about the economy. Part of it also is trying to at least give the appearance of some kind of modernity. So when we went there a few months ago, we saw this surprisingly peaceful looking city. You go to Pyongyang, you see people with cell phones that they didn't have years earlier. There are a lot more cars now. The buildings look newer, and he's built a lot of kind of tourist attractions. There's a dolphin park there. Of course, everywhere you go in Pyongyang, people praise Kim Jong Un.
뭐라고? 이거 뭐야? 우리 전체 조선 사람들이 다 우러러 보는 분을 진짜 가까이 배웠을 때 막 다리가 떨리고 그렇지만
저는 뭐 외국에 많이 나가보지 않아서 다른 나라의 용도자들이 상태에 대해서는 잘 모르지만은 우리 경의하는 최고 용자께서처럼 이렇게 자신이 모든 것을 촛불처럼 깡그리 태우시면서 인민들에게 사랑과 정을 다해 주시는 용도자는 이 세상에 없을 것이라고 생각합니다.
You just never know. Are they saying what they know they're supposed to be saying, or are they saying something that they truly believe? Behind everything you see, there's this young man who has grown into a 21st century tyrant.
Happy birthday to you.
When North Korea had few ties with the outside world, Kim Jong Un sent a rare invitation to a foreign guest. Former NBA star Dennis Rodman is one of a handful of foreigners who spoke to Kim Jong Un during his first 5 years in power. And that was, well, a bit weird. The young Kim's North Korea was isolated. For years, he never made a trip overseas, not that we know of. Under Kim, at least 10 Americans have been detained for various charges, from illegal entry to espionage, including Otto Warmbier, a young student who died from severe brain damage shortly after being released by North Korea.
A lot of bad things happened, but at least we got him home to be with his parents.
His parents have accused North Korea of torturing him, which Pyongyang officials denied.
There is no excuse for any civilized nation to have kept his conditions secret and denied him top-notch medical care for so long.
And of course, that wasn't the only provocation. Kim Jong Un test-launched dozens of ballistic missiles and conducted 4 nuclear tests, many more than his predecessors. But analysts noticed that, unlike his father and grandfather, he recognized that some had simply failed.
He's a learner. From the beginning, he would acknowledge mistakes and shortcomings and failure, and then work to correct them, or tell the people around him, you need to correct those. And so he's turned North Korea into more of a learning organization. That's a strength we need to recognize.
And then, late last year, North Korea announced it had achieved nuclear weapons capable of reaching the U.S. mainland. Whether or not that's totally true is still unclear, but that was enough for Kim Jong Un to claim North Korea is a nuclear power.
지난해 우리 당과 국가와 인민이 쟁취한 특출한 성과는 국가 핵무력 완성의 역사적 대업을 성취한 것입니다.
While the UN was imposing tough sanctions on Pyongyang, North Korean propaganda celebrated Kim as a bold leader who stands up to international pressure.
While we were in North Korea, our handlers made every effort to show that the country would not be hurt by sanctions. One of the ways was to present various economists and officials to explain that the country had weathered sanctions in the past and this time would be no different.
이런 단계에서 나라의 경제를 발전시켜 나가고 있습니다. 그런 건 아니고 영향은 있습니다. 그러나 우리는 경제적 자립을 강화하는 방향에서 더 자체심으로 그 영향을 이겨나간다는 것을 말하려고 합니다. 해망철을 원료로 해서 탄산소다 공장을 탄산소다 공업을 완비하여 합성연료.
These claims are impossible to verify.
설찜하고 미국과 대결하고 있는 조건에서
But the reality is economic sanctions are hitting North Korea very hard. So something like 90% of their trade, 30% of their oil, all investment have been shut off by rounds of UN sanctions. And that gives Kim Jong Un less than a year before most economists believe his economy will enter a real downturn.
Everything changed in 2018. Kim Jong Un started playing nice.
북남 관계 개선은 당국만이 아니라 누구나가 바라는 초미 관심사이며
Instead of launching rockets, he sent his sister, cheerleaders, and athletes to the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. And then there were more handshakes, smiles, and historic summits in China and South Korea. And even meetings with its American archenemy. There have been promises of denuclearization.
오늘 김정은 위원장과 나는 완전한 비핵화를 통해 핵 없는 한반도를 실현하는 것이 우리의 공동 목표라는 것을 확인했습니다.
And staged destruction of a North Korean nuclear facility, which is an echo of what Kim's father did in the past. So, skeptics say Kim, like his father, just wants the money but won't give up his nukes.
He turned out to be far more calculating, far more skillful, far more shrewd, far more brutal than anyone ever imagined. And that will make resolving the current crisis far more difficult than we expect.
I don't think I have to prepare very much. It's about attitude.
While experts and pundits around the world keep trying to predict his next move, expect more drama from the North Korean dictator.